Hi, my name's Loanna and I'm a licensed esthetician, and I want to share with you my all-natural tallow face cream. I've been using it on myself and on my clients for over a year now with really great results. And if you're like me and tired of toxic ingredients, synthetic ingredients, and you want something all natural that actually works, I got you covered. So over the past year, I was specifically drawn more to tallow after trying lots of things. Tallow is full of vitamins A, K, D, E, F, G, no, and all kinds of minerals. And the tallow oils also mimic the natural oils of our skin. It's really able to nourish more like our own natural skin does. So I started incorporating the tallow in my procedures with my clients, and I got a lot of really good feedback from it. Let's get into showing you how you can make your own tallow and a few ways we can tweak it and customize it for our skin concerns. Now this is tallow that I dry rendered myself, and I will have a video coming up shortly to show you how I did that if that's something you're interested in. But in the meantime, I will link where you can purchase this online, and you could also check with some of your local farmers markets, and probably on some social media pages you might find people that are selling rendered tallow. You might want to check with local butchers as well, where you could find some high quality grass-fed tallow. It's such a pretty color. Now, sometimes you may get tallow and it may be different shades of white, cream, and yellow. That depends on the breed, their diet, all kinds of factors. It's still tallow. I'm going to double the recipe, so you could start with half a cup of tallow, and we're going to use 1/4 cup of oil. The tallow, you can see it sets up really firm. When it's colder, that gets really hard. So we're going to add a little bit of the liquid oil to give it a little softer consistency, because sometimes this stuff can be really hard depending on what the temperature is outside. This looks like butter. And this is give or take. You don't have to be super precise on this as long as you're in the general vicinity. So that would be half a cup, and we would do 1/4 of a cup of the liquid, but I'm going to double the recipe because I want some for myself and some for the salon. At this point, you could just use another oil. Now, some use olive oil, some use avocado oil. When it comes to the face, I prefer to use something like an apricot kernel oil. You could use a jojoba, a sweet almond oil, but I've found that the majority of people, all different skin types, do really well with the apricot kernel oil, and there's all kinds of goodies in apricot kernel oil. Now, what I have, if you want to check out a video, I will link it, is some elderflower oil that I infused several months ago. And elderflower has all kinds of goodies in it. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I also have some calendula oil, and calendula as well has all kinds of great soothing anti-inflammatory properties, and it works great in this skincare. I have 1 cup of my tallow. Now I'm going to do 1/4 of a cup of each of these. This is the calendula oil, and we're going to do 1/4 of a cup, thereabouts. And this is the elderflower oil, and we're going to get to the 1/2 a cup with that. Sorry, noisy. We're going to add this to the tallow. Now we're going to take and make a makeshift double boiler and melt it down on the stove. Now you'll notice I have a little towel in the bottom of this to keep the glass from getting too hot and risk breaking it. You actually don't need to add your liquid oil at this point. You could just do the tallow, melt it, and then add the oil after you get it off of the heat. But this temp is really low, so it doesn't matter either way. I went ahead and tripled the recipe. Now I just have this temperature on a medium-low until everything gets melted real good. We're going to make sure we don't splash any of our water into our oil, because any moisture in your oil will cause it to mold. Now what you see in there is a little bit of the elderflower residue. So there's some flecks of flowers in here, and I don't care. Now if that bothers you, then when you strain out your flowers, you need to probably strain it through like a cheesecloth, and I didn't do that. Now we're going to let that cool, and then I'm going to add a few essential oils in here, and that is totally optional as well. You could 100% just do the tallow and the apricot kernel oil, jojoba oil, or a sweet almond oil and stop right there, and you would have a nice moisturizing lotion. But we're experimenting with some things here. So we are going to add some essential oils, and that is totally optional for you. I'll go over some of my favorites and why. There is some huge anti-aging benefits and healing cell regenerative benefits to comfrey, and I did a comfrey video and I will link that as well. But the next batch of my skincare, I want to add some comfrey oil in it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I infuse some of these things into the oil. We're going to let this cool. So here I just have a pint jar. Let me get a... Can't find my funnel. Well, this will have to do. And this is just comfrey that I have dried. Remember, when you use oil and you're using any plant matter in oil, I use completely dried plant matter. And I want this pretty stout, so I'm going to fill this almost full. It's not packed, it's just loosely in there. This one is a common brand, and it is not organic. It is just non-GMO, but it is cold pressed seed oil. Let me take that lid off. Now I keep planning on ordering me a big bunch of it and get organic, but I haven't done it, and I didn't want to wait on that to come in before I did this video. And it's going to take just about this whole jar. That's 16 ounces. And I'll probably add some to this as the dry plant matter absorbs some of the oil. Well, it's going to take it all now, I think. And I paid around $7 or $8 for this 16 ounce, and that's going to go a long way. So, I mean, this would probably last me a year. And again, I've just made sure that that is completely covered. There's no dry plant matter sticking up. And then I'm going to label this and stick it on the shelf and give it about 4 to 6 weeks. And then it'll be ready to make some more face cream. I'll go over all the different benefits of the different ingredients, and here in just a little bit, I'll go over how I use it, and for different skin types, how you would use it as well. Now is when I'm going to add the essential oils. It's not so hot that it will evaporate and alter the essential oils. It's just like I just stuck my finger in it, no biggie. This is frankincense. I'm just going to add what I have left. I don't have a lot of frankincense left, so it's going to get all I got. I need to get some more. Now, if this were for a regular batch, you could do anywhere from 10 to 20 drops of frankincense. And frankincense smells really good. And like I said, you could use things like lavender, helichrysum. That is an excellent one. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial. It is great for psoriasis, acne, but so are a lot of these other things as well. But you could customize this according to any need that you may have. Just do your own research on your essential oils and make sure you use quality all natural essential oils. I'm going to stop right there with just some frankincense, the elderflower, calendula, and the tallow. That's it.
This will set up fairly quickly, but you could stick it in the refrigerator to speed it up, but it sets up pretty quick.
And this last one, I'm going to add some geranium. That's for me. I love the smell of the geranium. It also has some good skin benefits as well. Like I said, you could personalize this for yourself just to make sure you're aware of the oils that you're using. You don't want to use any peppermints, citrus, anything that when you get around your eyes, and some of them would make you a little more sensitive to the sun, so you want to stay away from those.
And I'll wait until these are completely cooled before I add a lid so that we don't get any condensation under the lid.
Since I mixed that one, we'll stir it up a little bit. And I won't let any of this go to waste. Now, some may be concerned about it smelling like beef. If you knew what it was, you can slightly smell a beefy smell, but it really doesn't smell like beef. I can't explain it. Also, I've noticed that that sort of dissipates after you put it on. Just like most fragrances, they dissipate a little. So you won't be going around smelling like a beef stick. I promise. This one's going to be my personal one because I think that jar is just so stinking cute and it makes me happy. Benefits from the elderflower are that it brightens skin, it helps reduce fine lines and wrinkles because it has a little bit of a tightening agent. It would help reduce the size of pores or the appearance of the pores. Even though it's in an oil, because of the type of carrier oils that we're using, it can also help your skin from producing excess oil. So I know that seems counterproductive, but it works. Now the calendula, which gives you this gorgeous color and these pretty little flowers. And a lot of the properties of it are it's anti-inflammatory, it's skin soothing, it is like cell regenerative. So anytime something says it helps things to heal faster, that means it's promoting cell turnover and the cell to reproduce faster. So that's always going to benefit in anti-aging. Now let's talk about the apricot kernel oil and some of its benefits. Some of its benefits are it's high in vitamin E. Along with the tallow, it had a lot of vitamins in it as well. Also, everything I've mentioned in here is also great for eczema and psoriasis. The apricot kernel oil also helps reduce redness. So any of the ingredients in this cream would also work fine for anybody with problems with rosacea. Nothing in here would inflame your rosacea at all. So I want to go over a few things. Everyone's skin is different. If you are an extremely oily person, then you may want to do this cream at night. I personally, in my younger years, was very sensitive. I was oily and I was prone to breakouts. And some of that has changed, thank goodness, as I've gotten older. But I find I can wear this more in the morning and at night. And there are a few things that I have to tweak as far as my makeup goes because, like I said earlier, when you are using natural ingredients, they don't have the additives that we're used to that makes everything feel dry or smooth or just the way we're used to feeling. So there's some things to getting used to, but personally, once you get used to it, the benefits completely outweigh things you have to get used to. Now, if you find that you like this, but it's just a little too heavy for you to use during the daytime, or you are the type person that puts on a full amount of makeup, then you may want to do your regular routine in the daytime and just do this at night. So I'm working on a lot of aspects for skincare, like vitamin C. Vitamin C, it has a very, very short shelf life, very short, unless they add all kinds of things with it to help extend that shelf life. And if you start looking into what all those different things that they add to extend the shelf life, it might not be something that you want to be putting on your skin. So I'm working on ways to incorporate that. And hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is fabulous for your skin, and I'm working on some ways to incorporate that in a more natural way. So stay tuned for that. And like I said earlier, this thing is ever evolving. So if this is something you're interested in following along with, I would ask if you would like and subscribe and check the little bell, and that way you can get notified when I add more videos pertaining to my skincare. Also, if this is something that you're interested in, please comment below some things you might have some questions about or want me to check into.
I thank you so much for watching. My name's Loanna, and this is Little Bit of Homestead.